Rizq is not only money, it is every blessing that comes from Allah. It is the health in your body, the peace in your heart, the safety of your home, the love of your family, the loyalty of your friends, and even the knowledge you carry inside your mind. When we think of rizq, many of us only imagine wealth or a good job, but Allah has already filled our lives with countless forms of rizq that we sometimes forget to notice. When you wake up and you can breathe easily, that is rizq. When you eat simple food and it gives you strength, that is rizq. When your children smile at you or your parents make dua for you, that is rizq. When you sit in peace without fear in your heart, that is rizq. Money can buy comfort, but it cannot buy true barakah. True rizq is when Allah puts blessing in what you already have. So little becomes enough and enough becomes plenty. That is why when you ask Allah for rizq, do not limit it to wealth. Ask Him for barakah in your health, in your worship, in your family, and in your time. Because real rizq is not in the amount, but in the blessing. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam reminded us that real richness is not the richness of wealth, but the richness of the soul. When your heart is content with what Allah has given you, that is the highest form of rizq. Tahajjud is a prayer that carries a special secret in it because it is done when the whole world is sleeping and only a few hearts are awake for Allah. In those quiet hours of the night, you stand before your Creator with no distractions, no noise, and no one watching except Him. That is why the dua made in tahajjud carries a weight that daytime prayers do not carry. It is a moment of pure sincerity when you prove that your love for Allah is stronger than your love for sleep. The one who wakes up for tahajjud leaves comfort behind to seek the mercy of Allah, and Allah never disappoints such a servant. The blessings that come with this prayer are hidden from the eyes of people, but they are felt by the heart. Doors open in ways you never imagined. Difficulties are eased, and barakah enters into your rizq, your time, your family, and your soul. Tahajjud is not just a prayer, it is a conversation in the silence of the night between you and your Lord. It is where you pour out your pain, your dreams, your fears, and your hopes. And when you rise from that prayer, you rise lighter, stronger, and more blessed than before. Every verse of the Quran carries light that can brighten a person's life. When you recite the Quran after tahajjud, the heart is soft and the soul is close to Allah, and that is why the effect feels stronger. The words are not just read, they are absorbed deep inside, and they begin to guide you, heal you, and fill you with strength. The Quran is not like any other book, it is the speech of Allah. And when you connect with it in the quiet of the night, it feels like Allah is speaking directly to you. That light enters your heart, removes your worries, and clears the path in front of you. This is why blessings come faster after reciting in tahajjud, because your heart is awake and your connection to Allah is pure. Sometimes one verse recited with sincerity in the stillness of the night can change the direction of your life. It can give you hope in hardship, clarity in confusion, and strength in weakness. That is the miracle of the Quran. It is not only guidance for the world, but a source of rizq for your soul, your mind, and your life. Allah has promised that He will provide for His servants from places they could never imagine. Sometimes you think your rizq will only come through your job or your business or the plans you worked so hard for, but Allah can send it from a completely different door. He can place barakah in something small and make it grow, or He can remove hardship in a way that becomes a blessing greater than money. When you stand in tahajjud and recite Quran, you are showing Allah that you rely on Him alone. Not on people, not on work, not on wealth. That trust pulls blessings from directions you cannot see. It could be an opportunity that comes out of nowhere. It could be help from someone you never thought of. It could even be a small act that turns into something life-changing. The beauty of rizq is that it is not always what you expect and not always when you expect it. But when you keep your faith strong and call on Allah in the quiet of the night, He provides in ways that remind you He is Ar-Razzaq, the provider of all things. Sincerity makes all the difference, because Allah looks at your heart before He looks at your words. The Quran is powerful, but its real impact is unlocked when you recite with focus and deep feeling. If your lips move but your heart is distracted, you may not feel the effect. But when you recite with tears in your eyes and with full trust in Allah, every letter becomes a key that opens the doors of rizq. Allah loves the servant who calls upon Him with sincerity. When you raise your hands in the quiet of tahajjud and your heart is broken, yet hopeful, Allah listens and responds. It does not matter if your voice is weak or if your words are simple. What matters is that they are real. The more sincere you are, the faster your dua rises and the quicker the blessings arrive. Sincerity is when you are not showing off to people and not rushing your prayer just to finish. It is when you stand before Allah knowing that He alone controls your rizq, your life and your future. That feeling in your heart is what makes your recitation powerful and what turns your dua into reality. In the silence of the night, your dua carries a special weight. When the world is sleeping and everything around you is calm, your whispers rise higher and reach Allah in a way that daytime dua cannot. Your words are not lost in noise, they are pure and focused, and your heart is softer at that time. After tahajjud, when you recite the Quran, it feels alive because your soul is fully awake and connected to Allah. The verses sink deeper into your heart and the blessings of rizq flow with barakah. The stillness of the night becomes a witness to your sincerity, and the angels record your whispers as acts of worship. This is why believers throughout history valued the night prayer so much. They knew that the darkness of the night hides them from people but opens them up to Allah. And in that hidden moment, their dua rises higher, their recitation feels lighter, and their rizq is written with more blessing. Gratitude is one of the strongest ways to bring more rizq into your life. When you thank Allah for what you already have, He promises to increase it. Even if your blessing feels small, when you say Alhamdulillah, it grows with barakah. A grateful heart attracts more mercy, more peace and more opportunities, because Allah loves the servant who remembers Him with thanks. When you stand after tahajjud and recite Quran, add gratitude to your dua. Say Alhamdulillah for your health, even if it is not perfect. Say Alhamdulillah for your food, even if it is simple. Say Alhamdulillah for your family, your safety, your knowledge, your faith. Every time you thank Allah, you are opening the door for more blessings to enter. Gratitude is like a magnet for rizq. It pulls more goodness into your life and protects what you already have from being wasted. Ungratefulness closes the door, but thankfulness unlocks it wider and wider. That is why a believer who is grateful will always see increase in rizq, even if they start with very little. The more you thank Allah, the more He gives you and the more content your heart becomes. This is the secret to doubling your rizq, not just in money, but in peace, love, happiness and faith.